We all know that falling in love feels amazing, right? But have you ever wondered what actually happens in our brains and bodies when we fall head over heels for someone? Well, stick around, because we're going to break it down and uncover the biology and psychology of love. All right, let's get into the biology of falling in love. When you meet someone special, your brain goes into overdrive. There are a few key players in this love game, and they're all about hormones and neurotransmitters. First up, we have dopamine. This is the feel-good neurotransmitter that makes you feel excited and euphoric when you're around your crush. Think of dopamine as the ultimate party starter in your brain. When you're in love, your brain releases more dopamine, which gives you that rush of happiness and energy. It's why you can't stop smiling or thinking about that special someone. Next, we've got oxytocin, also known as the cuddle hormone or love hormone. Oxytocin is released when we hug, kiss, or even just think about our loved ones. It creates feelings of bonding and trust. This hormone is super important for building deep emotional connections with others, which is why it's often called the glue of relationships. Then, there's serotonin. This neurotransmitter helps regulate your mood, and it's often linked to feelings of happiness and well-being. When you're falling in love, your serotonin levels can actually drop, which might explain why you can't seem to focus on anything else, and why your mood might swing from ecstatic to anxious at times. And let's not forget about adrenaline. Remember that heart-pounding feeling when you see your crush? That's adrenaline kicking in. This hormone is part of the body's fight or flight response, and it makes your heart race, palms sweat, and knees weak whenever you're around the person you're falling for. Now that we've covered the biology, let's talk about the psychology of falling in love. You see, falling in love isn't just about what's happening in your body. It's also about what's going on in your mind. Psychologists have found that when we fall in love, our brains start to focus intensely on that one person. This is partly because of the reward system in our brains. When we spend time with someone we're attracted to, our brain releases dopamine, which reinforces our desire to keep spending time with them. It's like our brain is giving us a little pat on the back and saying, "Good job, keep going." Another interesting psychological aspect is attraction. Researchers believe that we're attracted to people who have similar values, interests, and even biological cues, like scent. Yes, scent. We're subconsciously drawn to people whose natural scent appeals to us, which is believed to be linked to our immune system compatibility. Crazy, right? Then there's attachment theory, which suggests that our early experiences with caregivers shape how we approach relationships as adults. So, if you had a secure attachment with your parents, you are more likely to feel secure in your romantic relationships. But if your early attachments were more anxious or avoidant, that might show up in how you connect with others today. Okay, so we've talked about the hormones, neurotransmitters, and psychology behind falling in love. But how does all this science actually affect our behavior? When we're in love, our behavior can change in pretty noticeable ways. You might find yourself daydreaming more, feeling more optimistic, or even taking better care of yourself. That's because being in love activates the reward centers in our brains, making us feel happier and more motivated to be our best selves. You might also notice that you become more empathetic and caring. That's oxytocin at work, helping us feel closer and more connected to our loved ones. And of course, there's the classic symptom of love, thinking about the person constantly. Thanks to those elevated dopamine levels, it's almost like your brain is on a loop, replaying every moment you've spent with them. So, there you have it. The science behind falling in love is a wild mix of biology and psychology, with hormones and neurotransmitters playing the lead roles in this beautiful, chaotic experience we call love. Next time you find yourself falling for someone, you can thank your brain, and maybe a little bit of adrenaline, for all those butterflies. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the science of love. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone you love. See you next time.